Greetings traders, welcome to my channel. This is my trading journal. I have been logging and recording all my trades that I take on a regular basis to my trading journal here. Uh, these are my covered call positions that I have been I have been into this trade for this entire March series. I have been recording all the adjustment, entry, exit criterias of all these trades in this particular playlist. So this is today is 25th of March and we are very close to this month's expiry. So this is where we are at. These are all stocks that I am having as a holding. So for example, SDFC Bank, I have 550 shares in my holding. LTI, I have 130 stocks in my account. Tata Consumer, I have 700 stocks in my account, but then I'll tell you why I do have a couple of lots here. And then Titan, I have a lot of shares in my holding. So let's talk about all these trades one by one. So this Tata Consumer trade, if you have not seen the earlier video on this, I've talked about the adjustment we did on the Tata Consumer. So let me just explain. So I was let me talk about the Tata Consumer chart first. So this is the chart of Tata Consumer. When Nifty was sliding down and it started recovering it, that's when I thought it has broken this particular support resistance for which was there for a while. I opened my position somewhere over here or maybe somewhere over here, which was I was 760 call short then, which I have collected 7.8 rupees of premium then. But then it started even it blew up my covered call when it broke this resistance and it went all the way up to 780, wherein my call was completely call, which the strike I was in got into the money, right, which blew up my premium from 7.8 rupees to 24.5 points. And that's when I have actually exited this position with the loss of 16.7 rupees. And that's exactly when I've initiated this martingale strategy. I booked a loss of 16.7, and collectively with I went further far from the 760 strike to 800 and 830 strike to collect very similar premium collectively with amount of losses that I took in this particular trade. So loss were 16.7 and collectively I was able to get around 14-15 points collectively on these two strikes, and that's the reason why you see couple of strikes over here. And the couple of strikes I was also having a put strike as well. If you look go back and look my previous video, the put side also I have collected couple of points. It was a completely hedged bear put spread there, wherein I collected couple of points when Tata Consumer was heading towards 800. But then after that IV expansion, it started going down significantly from that particular day, that is 17th of March. And this my particular position, after I did a martingale strategy adjustment, I started getting some time decay or delta moves decay over here. So now it is trading at 1 rupees and 0.85 rupees, and I have been able to recover all my losses on the 780 strike, 760 strike, which I started this covered call position from. So this is about Tata Consumer. LTI again, this position is really doing good. I shorted these 6800 and 7000. Again, these strikes got challenged when entire Nifty and entire IT pack was recovering, and this is where it took almost 10 to 15% of up move I have been able to manage that particular movement, and my calls were bleeding at that time. But even then, I knew it will be very difficult to cross this 6400 resistance that we have, and that's exactly what happened. And I stayed into the trade, and I am bearing the fruits of staying over there, or putting or holding that position for quite some time. I was looking at around 22,000 rupees of loss in these two positions collectively, but now I'm looking at almost 8-9,000 rupees of profit, and I would probably have few more thousand added at the time of expiry. I don't think this will get challenged. Even if it get challenged, I don't think it will cross the premiums which I have collected. Even then, if there is an IV expansion in the last week, I'll see if I can adjust these positions, or even if that is the case, I can get rid of this at the cost to cost. So there is no way I am going to bear any losses on this position. Similarly, on SDFC and Titan is something which this is the new position that I've created, and I have learned from my mistakes which I have done on LTI and Tata Consumer position. I have learned from those mistakes, and I've been able to get this SDFC and Titan call strike at the at the at even at the highest point of IV expansion, and that has really benefited my position. I was able to, when SDFC was trading at here, if I'm not wrong, maybe at 1500, that's when there was a huge IV expansion, and that's when I've shorted these 1560 strike, which was maybe 4% up from the current spot, or the spot where it was trading at, right? I took a risk there, but then I certainly know this is a IV expansion, and this is the anyways, even if it continues from, because it had almost come to 1500 level from 1293 level, which was around 25% of movement, and I don't I thought this move may not sustain for some time, right? So that's when that was the plan, to short it at on the rise and collect maximum premium, and again at the same time staying away from the spot, not at the money, and that has really benefited this position. Now it is trading at to my assumption, it fell down from there. Now it is trading at 1423, and our covered call position is being benefited over here. Similar thing happened to Titan. I have been able to short this particular strike, which is 3000 strike, when Titan was trading at 2700, if I'm not wrong. This is where I've shorted this particular strike, and again the idea was this 20% of move is something which the stock may not sustain, and that's exactly what happened, benefiting my position here. So I still have some juice left, and I will try and book all these positions starting Monday. But then I just wanted to give you some heads up on all my covered call positions. So this is where we are at. So the amount of margin that is being used here is around 7 lakh rupees. So it's good. 3% is what we are getting out of this, right? So even if we go cost to cost on the Tata Consumer, we still have 20,000 rupees of profit here, right? So so this is something I plan to do on a regular basis. I have these holdings. I just would like to generate some rental income on the holdings that I have, because even if they go up or down, they just go up and down on paper. That there's nothing tangible in terms of profit and loss unless and until I book and realize those profit and loss on these holdings. and that's when these covered calls come into play, wherein you can actually start getting some rental income, wherein this covered call, though they are naked, your holding becomes hedge to it, right? Even if it crosses or it gets into the money, your underlying is going to get benefited, and if at all your underlying goes down, you're still going to stay bullish on the underlying or the story, or the business you believe in, and at the same time you generate some rental income in the form of these call premiums that you collect on a regular basis. So thank you very much for watching this particular series. I have created a playlist of this entire trade that I've taken in March, and I will continue to do so and create April playlist as well, as in when I get or I enter into these positions. So thank you very much. I have not been able to there wasn't much opportunity to adjust my covered calls here, apart from this Tata Consumer position. Rest of the covered calls did really well, but then whenever I see there is a chance, I'll make sure I record this to my trading journal. So thank you very much for watching this, and if you really like the content on this channel, please hit subscribe. Thank you very much.